For this question, we want to use the graph of the known basic function and a combination of horizontal and vertical shifts to sketch the function. Our function is h of x equals the square root of x plus 1 plus 4. I'm going to write that a little larger. The square root of x plus 1 plus 4. So first we want to figure out what that basic function is, and there's a clue in our equation. We have the square root, and that means that our basic function is y equals the square root of x. The graph of that basic function is half of a sideways parabola, the top half of a sideways parabola. I can also see that we have some transformations within our function. We have a plus 1 and a plus 4. And we want to think about what those transformations are. The plus 1 and plus 4 are both transformations. Because they're adding and subtracting, I know that those are shifts. The plus 1 is inside the radical, so that is a horizontal shift. And the plus 4 is outside of the radical, so that's a vertical shift. Now, horizontal could be either left or right. Because this is a plus 1, I know it's going to move to the left one. A vertical shift is either up or down, and because this is a plus 4, I'm going to go up 4 with my graph. So now I'm ready to graph my function using these transformations. I would start off with my basic graph. My basic graph is that half of a sideways parabola. And then I'm going to do the horizontal shift first and then the vertical shift. So my horizontal shift will move to the left 1 unit. And then my vertical shift will move up 4 units. I should have used a different color there. So okay, good, I did. So this is the graph. The purple graph is the graph of our basic function shifted to the left 1 unit and up 4 units. For this example, we want to use the graph of the known basic function and a combination of horizontal and vertical shifts to sketch the function. For this example, g of x is equal to 1 over x minus 1 plus 5. Our function is g of x equals 1 over x minus 1 plus 5. For our basic graph, we have y equals 1 over x. And I can tell that that is our basic graph because I have a variable x in the denominator. I've got 1 over x. The graph of this basic function has a vertical and horizontal asymptote. So it has a vertical asymptote that's right on top of the y-axis. It has a horizontal asymptote that's right on top of the x-axis. And the graph itself looks like this. We have some transformations. And the transformation that we have is a minus 1 and a plus 5. These transformations are both shifts because they're adding and subtracting. The minus 1 is a horizontal shift because it's inside the fraction. The plus 5 is a vertical shift because it's outside of the fraction. Horizontal is left and right. The minus is right. We're going to move to the right one. And the plus 5, being a vertical shift, is either up or down, and because it's plus, it's up 5. I mentioned the horizontal and vertical asymptotes because those will help us shift drawing the graph. So my horizontal and vertical asymptote meet right here at the origin at 0, 0. I'm going to shift to the right one and up 5 to shift the location of where the vertical and horizontal asymptotes are. So if I shift to the right one and up 5, that's going to be the location where the vertical and horizontal asymptotes cross each other now. So my vertical asymptote is now going to pass through x equals 1, and my horizontal asymptote will pass through y equals 5. So by shifting where the asymptotes are, that is shifting the graph itself. So my graph will look like this. So it's the same graph, just shifted around the point 1,5 instead of around the point 0, 0. The graph to the right was created by using one horizontal shift and one vertical shift of the graph of the basic function y equals x squared. Write the function that describes the graph to the right. So what I want you guys to remember about the basic function y equals x squared, it's the graph of a parabola like we see on the right, but the vertex of that parabola occurs at 0, 0, the origin. So we can see that the vertex of this parabola is not at 0, 0. And by looking at that vertex, we can figure out where we've shifted this graph to. It's got one horizontal shift and one vertical shift. So if I can figure those out, I'll know what the equation is. So from the origin, it looks like I shifted down 5 and to the right 2. So if I want to write the equation of this function inside the squared, I want to shift right 2. That means I would subtract 2. That would give me a horizontal shift because it's on the inside. Minus moves to the right, and I want to move 2 units to the right. Then I want to shift down, so I'm going to subtract 5. I put the minus 5 outside of the base function to make it vertical, a minus to make it go down, and I wanted it to go down 5. So this would be the equation of the graph that we see pictured here. In this example, we have let f of x equal square root of x plus 1 and g of x equal x squared minus x. We want to find and simplify the expression. Our expression is f minus g of 8. I have 2 different ways that I can work this problem out. I'll show you the first way. In the first way, we can understand what these symbols mean, that we want to evaluate f at 8, evaluate g at 8, and then subtract the 2. So f of 8 would be substituting an 8 into the function named f. That's square root of 8 plus 1, which is square root of 9, which is 3. We want to evaluate g at the value of 8. So we're going to substitute 8 into the function named g. That's 8 squared minus 8. And we need to make sure we subtract that whole expression. We're going to subtract 64 minus 8. And 64 minus 8 is 56. 3 minus 56 is negative 53. That's one way to find this expression, the value of this expression. Another way to find it, if you have f minus g of 8, you would first build the function f minus g of x. That function is f of x minus g of x. That's square root of x plus 1 minus the whole function g of x, x squared minus x. That's square root of x plus 1 minus x squared plus x. And so we've found the function f minus g, and then you would evaluate by substituting 8 into that function. F minus g of 8. That's square root of 8 plus 1 minus 8 squared plus 3. Sorry, not 3, 8. And then we'll simplify. 8 plus 1 is 9. 8 squared is 64. Square root of 9 is 3. Negative 64 plus 8 is negative 56. And 3 minus 56 is negative 53. So we have two ways to find the solution for this problem. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.